Ah, company. Welcome. My name is Sonic. I'm just looking through my old photo book of when I used to work on the island of Sodor. What's that? You've never seen me there. Oh, well, I wouldn't expect you to. But let me tell you how it began. You see, it began when I was living with my girlfriend. Her name, well, it wasn't a name, but a number. Android 18. She and I lived together in a town of Cartoonia, a land where cartoon characters come together. Granted, it did get boring, until I noticed something in an article about the island of Sodor, and I showed it to Android 18. The island of Sodor? What is that? It looks like a railway. I think it'd be the perfect place to be. Wouldn't you think? Is it far? Because I don't want to drive far. Don't worry, dear. We can take the shortcut. My instant transmission, remember? Oh, yes, I remember. When should we go? Next month. It'll give us time to pack and find us a house there. If we do find one, where would you like it to be? I'd say near the railway, in case you find work on the railway. It was then decided we traveled to the island of Sodor to search for houses, until we found one, right near to the Tidmouth station sheds. After a month, we packed our things together and we went to live on the island of Sodor. There we were greeted by none other than the Fat Controller himself, Sir Topham Hatt.
Morning, newcomers. Welcome to the island of Sodor. I am Sir Topham Hatt, but you can call me Sir.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Sonic the Mobian Saiyan. And this is my girlfriend, Android 18. Greetings. I noticed the engine Sir Topham Hatt came aboard, and we were a bit confused.
Is there something wrong?
Oh no, forgive me. We just haven't seen an engine with a face.
Oh, I see. No non-faceless engines?
More like no engines at all. We lived in the middle of a city.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm Edward.
Pleased to meet you, Edward.
Express coming through.
Whoa! Great Kami's power level! Who was that?
That was Gordon, my main express engine. He's like that sometimes.
If only he were a nicer engine.
After discussing to Sir Topham Hatt about finding a job, he gave me one as a driver for a large engine named Henry, who looked like he had seen better days. Goodness, Henry! Why do you look so ill?
Oh, hello there, sir. I just don't feel very well.
It had actually turned out that Henry's design was stolen from the great Sir Nigel Gresley, from an LNER A2 and a C6, which would explain his small firebox. I did my best to help him start for the day, but it was no good. He wouldn't build enough steam. Henry, I'm sorry, but it seems it's not just your firebox, but it's your pipes.
What do you mean?
Usually with newer engines, their pipes are clogged and they need a good cleaning so you can continue being really useful. And so it was arranged. Henry was sent to the works to have his pipes cleaned out and checked over. After that day, he felt better than ever. He even had Gordon jealous. I'd like to take a step back for a minute, as I haven't really addressed about the engines. While we were enjoying our time on Sodor, well, at the time, there were only 3 engines there: Gordon, Edward, and Henry. And while I was working on the island of Sodor, Android 18 had a pleasant day talking with Edward, while Gordon would pass by the sheds and insult Edward for being old-fashioned. But he would get his comeuppance soon.
I'm starting to think Gordon hates me.
And why do you think that?
Ever since he came to the island, he's been boasting that I can't do anything because he's bigger and stronger.
18 thought about it for a minute and told Edward she would go see the Fat Controller. The next day, Sir Topham had told Edward that he could pull a passenger train. Boy, let me tell you, I had never seen Edward so happy within the time I was working there. But I couldn't say the same for Gordon.
Edward is an old fusspot. Why should he pull a passenger train?
Because, Gordon, I requested it, unless you have a problem with it. Gordon surely stayed silent after that, which, I will say, was kind of funny. I've seen firsthand people dealt with Android 18, and let me tell you, you wouldn't last. Edward enjoyed his day out into the open. The night he returned, he fell asleep happily. But the next day, Edward had found nothing had changed, as Gordon would still grumble and boast.
You watch me, little Edward, as I rush through with the express. That will be a fine view for you.
Pa, not until the new engines get here.
New engines? What new engines?
Oh, well, there are 2 new engines coming soon for their trials. If they perform well, they will join the railway.
Now, Henry was actually right on this statement, as there were 2 new engines coming to Sodor. Meanwhile, Edward began shunting at the Knapford Station sidings. Shortly after, that's when he saw something interesting. A blue tank engine and a red tender engine. These would become Thomas the tank engine and James the red splendid engine. Excuse me, can you tell us where Knapford is?
This is Knapford. I'm Edward. It's a pleasure to meet you. What's your name?
I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
A goods train. A goods train. The shame of it. The shame of it. Oh, the shame of it.
Oh, Gordon. It can't be that bad.
Yes, Edward, it is. I am a very important engine. I shouldn't have to pull dirty cars. Wait, who are you 2?
They are Thomas and James, the new engines.
Oh dear. Sir Topham Hatt must have made a terrible mistake. I thought he was bringing in really useful engines.
Oi, what do you mean by a terrible mistake? You had better watch your tongue. If you weren't on our wheels, you wouldn't be talking.
Oh? And what did you do that I didn't do?
We served in the First War. That instantly shut Gordon up, as it was actually true. Both Thomas and James did serve in the First World War. In fact, James took it worse, as he had actually lost a good friend, his old driver, who I was told was named Jackson Wayne. When Gordon heard about that, he stayed silent and puffed away. Edward, who felt very sorry for James's driver, wished him the best and said that he was a good man.
Indeed he was.
Feeling better, James?
Yes, thank you, Thomas.
There they saw in the distance was Sir Topham Hatt and someone I remembered. His name was Shallot. He was a Saiyan just like me, but an older Saiyan. In fact, he was my ancestor.
Hello there. You must be Thomas and James. Welcome to Sodor. I am Sir Topham Hatt, and this is Shallot. He's come to work as James's new driver.
Hello there, James. I heard what you said about your driver. I'm terribly sorry about his loss.
Hello, Shallot. Pleasure to meet you, sir.
And Sonic, you will be Thomas's driver.
That's wonderful to hear, sir. Indeed, I'm honored to work with you, Thomas.
Now, as you can see, I'm a very busy man. And this is a very busy railway. So I expect both of you to be really useful engines right away. James, if ever he serves, you can take passengers and freight.
Yes, sir.
Then I want you to take these coaches and take them for your first run from Knapford to Vickerstown.
Yes, sir.
And Thomas, since you are somewhat new, Edward will teach you what to do.
Yes, sir. I'll do my best to be a really useful engine.
That's what I like to hear. Well, I'm off for now. There's a female in my office wanting a job here.
I knew exactly who he was talking about. I could see her through his window, but I'll save that for later. Meanwhile, Gordon was still silent about what James said, and he wasn't paying attention that he wasn't going at full speed. By the time he noticed, he got stuck on the hill.
Oh, damn it! Stuck on this bloody hill!
What's the matter, Gordon?
Such a shame. A big, proud engine like you is stuck. Guess we might be late.
Or at this rate, we'll never get to our destination in time.
Belt up, you sorry excuse of rolling stock. This is pathetic. How could this get any worse? Why did I have to open my mouth?
Hello there, Gordon. Stuck on a hill? My. That's not much of a fine view, is it? I see. Well, ma'am, it seems we might have an opening for you. Edward is in need of a driver. Let's start with him. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I never asked for your name.
Oh, well, it's...
Oh, bother that telephone. Sorry, one moment. Hello? I see. Oh dear. Okay then, goodbye. I guess we can start today, Miss...
Monica.
Now, for the record, I don't know how she got here, but I've been told that she has the power to code things, including on where to go. But in any case, Sir Topham Hatt introduced her to Edward, and sure enough, she was glad to have him as her engine. But when Edward heard about Gordon stuck onto the hill, well, he wasn't too happy about it. So Monica had climbed on board, and both set off. By the time Edward made it to the hill, Gordon was very annoyed.
Hello, Gordon. I've come to push.
Pah! No use at all. A small engine like you?
Says the big engine stuck on a hill.
Roasted! Anyway, Edward had coupled up to the train, and both proceeded to reach the top of the hill.
I've done it! I've done it! I've done it! Ha ha ha! I knew I could do it!
Oh, not even so much as a thank you. Oh,
Oh, let him be. You did well, Edward. I'm proud of you.
Now, it was going great. About 2 weeks later, there was a storm coming in, and it was strong. Henry was probably scared the most. The day started at Knapford. Edward and Thomas were at the station. They were having a pleasant conversation.
so your brothers and sisters were prototypes?
Yep, originally our buffers were too long that our couplings couldn't reach the other cars.
That sounded terrible.
You don't know the half of it.
That seems pretty interesting, you two, but, there's a problem.
And what's that?
Henry's late, and James is supposed to leave now.
Oh dear.
What?
Edward had explained that Henry was afraid of rain.
Why is he afraid of rain?
On his old railway, there was a nasty flood that almost swept him away.
Oh dear.
So, he might be a little bit late.
Now granted, I wasn't aware about Henry's past, but him being afraid didn't help him being late. In fact, he was so afraid, he thought it would be a good idea for him to hide in the tunnel. Now, granted, more cartoon characters were coming into Sodor for jobs, but I think the one I never expected coming was a certain pink hedgehog to show up and be Henry's new driver.
Oh, come on, Henry. Why are you heading in a tunnel? We have to take these passengers to their destinations.
I'm sorry, Amy, but I'm not going. It's raining. A lot.
You realize you're scared of something that keeps your steam alive.
It doesn't matter. I'm not moving, and that's final.
I knew Amy would be a little ticked off now, but I knew she could handle it herself. So she called up Sir Topham Hatt, and soon he had heard about Henry stuck in the tunnel. He quickly asked James and Charlotte to take him to the tunnel, and that's what they did. Once they delivered their cars, they made it on time to see some of the passengers arguing with Henry.
John, it's Henry. I understand what happened on your old railway, but this is barely a drizzle. You need to come out of this tunnel this instant. Oh, you rude engine. Fine then. We will pull you out. Amy, have Thomas come here to give us assistance.
Certainly, sir. But what of Edward?
Unfortunately, he has a passenger train in 3 minutes.
And so it was arranged. Thomas and I hurried to the tunnel with some rope. A bit confused, but we wanted to try our best.
Thank goodness you both arrived. Did you bring the rope the station master asked you to bring?
Yes, sir. We brought it.
Excellent. Now, Henry, I'm going to ask you this one last time. Either come out or we pull you out. No, sir. I'm not coming out.
Oh, come on, you big baby. The rain has stopped already.
Yes, but it could begin again.
With what clouds?
They can appear again.
Oh my chaos, just tie the rope on him. And that's what we did. We both put a rope on Henry and Thomas, and we hoped it would work.
1, 2, 3, pull!
Thomas started pulling Henry. Granted, he was a little engine, but he had Henry's buffer beam out of the tunnel. But Henry meant business and pulled Thomas back as he went into the tunnel. Darn it!
Oh, bother. Thomas, go around back and push it.
Yes, sir!
Last chance, Henry.
Henry stayed silent as Thomas made it to the other side. We're ready, sir!
1, 2, 3, push!
Thomas gave it all he got. He pushed and puffed and pushed and puffed. But to no avail. Henry stayed in the tunnel, and Thomas was very exhausted. You stubborn engine! Eventually, Sir Topham Hatt had given up and decided only one thing to do.
Well then, Henry, since you won't come out of the tunnel, then we shall keep you in that tunnel and leave you here for always and always and always.
I will say this. I thought he was bluffing. Boy, was I wrong. He had me and Amy assist building the wall. It was painful to see Henry walled up. Time had passed and Henry still stayed in the tunnel. watching the other engines pass by. About a month, really, when Gordon decided to be cocky and planned to weesh steam at Henry until it happened.
What's happening to me? I feel so weak.
Granted, he did stop, but that's when good old Knucklehead joined the team. I'm starting to wonder if Amy said anything else to the gang.
Well, that's done it, Gordon. Your safety valve burst. You can pull the train anymore.
Oh, darn it all. We were going so nicely too.
Don't worry, Gordon. I'll call Monica.
How do you even have her phone number?
We now are living together. When I came to Sodor, she offered me a place to stay. Her house had a second bedroom, so I said yes. Not the point. I'll call her to see if she and Edward can come help.
Monica was quick to answer, and when she heard that Knuckles was in trouble, she went straight to Edward and explained what was happening.
I see. Well, I can give it a go.
Are you sure? I don't want you getting hurt.
I appreciate your concerns, Monica, but those passengers must get to their destinations. We must help him.
I swear, after that day, I'm still thinking Monica almost fell in love with Edward. Nonetheless, they hurried to the tunnel whilst Gordon was placed on a different line. What made it worse for Gordon was Sir Topham Hatt was on board his train.
Oh dear, Gordon. This is why you don't try and show off.
No worries, sir. I called Monica. She's bringing Edward here to help.
Pah! That's no good. He can't pull the train, even if he was strong.
Yet, here you are, out of commission.
Point taken.
It took a while, but Edward made it to the tunnel and coupled up to the coaches from the brake coach.
Ready, Edward?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Edward's wheels started moving fiercely. He huffed and puffed until he stopped.
Whew. I can't do it. It's too heavy.
Oh, look at that. I was right. Here's an idea. Why not let Henry try?
Very well, then. We might as well. Henry, if we let you out, will you pull this train? Oh, yes, please.
So they took Gordon's coal and put it in Henry's firebox. It took a while, but he started steaming again. As for the wall, Knuckles couldn't contain himself and broke the wall. Henry made it out before he did so.
Have a good run, Henry. It'll help ease your joints. Then go find the turntable.
Henry did so and came back quickly. He coupled up with Edward as a banker.
We're ready back here, Henry.
Do your best and give it all you got.
Pull hard, we'll do it. Pull hard, we'll do it.
Attaboy, Henry. Let's go.
From what Monica and Amy both told me, they were soaring as fast as my speed. Of course, I think they were over-exaggerating a bit. But they did make it on time. And once they made it there on time, they promised another engine would assist them with the passengers. After that, Edward and Henry helped Gordon to the works, where he had been fixed up and was given a new coat of paint. After that, a week went by and something else had happened. But that's a story for another time. My name is Sonic, and thank you for listening.